a new program of what is happening with my body. Today, we are talking about cancer, a quite known but very hard to cure disease. Before we can see what the disease is about, we should see how our body cells work.
Body cells require energy to accomplish their functions. In order to do that, they produce ATP. ATP is produced from the glucose that's in the food that we eat. Once glucose is inside the cell, it goes through a process known as glycolysis. As a result, two pyruvate molecules are produced, which will be later oxidized and turned into an acetyl group, which will later be an acetyl-CoA, also obtaining carbon dioxide. The acetyl-CoA goes inside the Krebs cycle, and when it joins a carbon molecule, the coenzyme A is released. Through the cycle, 4 carbon dioxide, 2 ATP, 6 NADH and 2 FADH2 molecules are produced. The next steps in ATP production are electron transport and oxidative phosphorylation, where NADH and FADH2 are oxidized and the resulting energy is used to produce ATP. There is another process necessary to maintain mainly the cell's structure. This is known as protein synthesis. To synthesize proteins, 3 kinds of RNA are needed: messenger RNA, transfer RNA, and ribosomal RNA. The necessary information is taken from the DNA to the ribosomal RNA by the messenger RNA. The transfer RNA, that has the same code as the messenger RNA, brings an amino acid from the cell membrane, which will join the amino acid, which will be brought by another transfer RNA that should have a complementary code to the following one in the messenger RNA. When the necessary amount of amino acids are together, they are released as a protein. These two processes are part of what is known as subphase G1 and G2 of interphase, that together with mitosis and cytokinesis is part of cell cycle. During interphase, there are 3 subphases, G1, S, and G2. During G1 and G2, cell growing takes place, and in the middle of them, subphase S happens, where the DNA replication needed for the cell reproduction is done. After interphase comes mitosis. During mitosis, cell starts to divide. Mitosis has 4 stages. Prophase, where the chromatin is condensed and centrioles go each one to an extreme of the nucleus. Metaphase, where the chromatids are placed in the middle of the cell. Anaphase, where the centromeres of chromatids get separated. Each chromatid turns into a separated chromosome that is taken to the opposite side of the nucleus. Finally, telophase, where each group of chromosomes is grabbed by a nucleus. During cytokinesis, the cytoplasm division takes place. It generally starts during telophase.
As the cell cycle goes on, the amount of body cells increases. At some point, that amount of cells has to be controlled, something that is through apoptosis.
Apoptosis is a process of programmed cell death. It is a biochemical process that leads to cell death. Apoptosis is composed by 4 stages. In the first one, the cell receives a signal that activates the whole process. Then, cell volume has to be reduced and DNA has to be fragmented. Later, chromatin is condensed. And finally, the nucleus is fragmented into apoptotic corpse. Apoptosis is wrongly confused with necrosis, which is a violent and catastrophic process where there is a passive degeneration of the cell that does not require energy. It is usually the result of traumatic damage or exposition to toxins. When there is no apoptosis, a tumor begins to be produced. The tumor could be either benign or malignant. If a tumor is malignant, it is known as cancerinogenic. Cancer is a process that disables the systems that prevent cell overgrowth. This is produced by genetical changes as a result of DNA replication mistakes, known as mutations. Cancer cells are not only able to reproduce indefinitely, but they can also invade other tissues, something known as metastasis. There are approximately 35,000 genes associated with cancer, and they have been classified into 3 groups. The first ones are proto-oncogenes that produce protein products that can enhance cell division or inhibit normal cell death. When they mutate, they become oncogenes. The second group includes tumor suppressors that make proteins that prevent division and cell or cause cell death. In the third group, there are DNA repair genes that help to prevent mutations that lead to cancer.
Cancer is a disease that is very hard to cure if it's not found at an early stage. It requires a lot of support from the family so the patient can fight it. So, this was everything for today's program. We will see you next week. Hello, my name is Paula, and I'm too short so you cannot see like here. Well, here? Yes. Hi, Mr. Light. At some point I want to set an up as we play. So we will eventually evolve. I feel like a BBC floppy top talking like this. You know? And then you, Paula, the battle, and then Mika went kill Paula. Wait a minute. Apoptosis. Hola, soy. No. Can I speak Russian? 5 is 5. You can do it. Hola, malo, que tú lo explicaste. No sé ni qué mierda quiere decir castellano. What happened in our studies? 5 drum. Like 5. Yes. So body cells in grace. Grace is etc. I think. We don't use. What do you use? Because my friend Carla Palacios is talking in front of the camera. I want to call you. Hi. You're supposed to be Rita. Okay. No. Hola. Bye, Rita. Only friends, so you know. Busquen ahí las 9 diferencias. Tic-tac, 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 tic-tac. Muy bien. No, estas no son. El árbol es una. Como podemos ver, la copa es diferente. Y la otra diferencia son las 8 patas que este tiene esta araña y esta no tiene ninguna.